Okay, so now I'm in Windows and we're going to go ahead and install the required tools for this course. So the first thing is we're going to need a browser, and if you want to just stick with Internet Explorer, you can, but I would highly suggest you get another browser, and for this course I highly recommend you get Google Chrome. Now, I'm not going to go over how to install Google Chrome. I am going to assume that you know how to install it. I already have it pre-installed here on my machine. So the first thing we need to do is install the Atom editor, or whatever editor you want, but I'll show you how to install Atom. And the way you install it is to download it from atom.io. Make the screen a little bigger, and we'll go ahead and click download. And once it's downloaded, I can go ahead and show it in folder and double click it. And it's showing us that Atom is being installed. And once it gets installed, it shows us the welcome screen. We'll go ahead and close that. We don't need that right now. So that's working. Okay, so for now, we could go ahead and close it. We'll close exit. And the next thing we need to do is install Git. So let's go to the browser and type in download Git. And we could go to this very first website that shows up. And we'll click the latest download for Windows, which it will go ahead and download for us. And we can actually just click it directly to start installing. And say, yes, we want to continue. And we'll press next. Again, next. And we'll go ahead and click add an additional icon on the desktop. We'll click next again. This will create an item in the start menu. We're okay with that. We'll press next. And the safest option here is already chosen for us, which is to use Git from the Windows command prompt. Let's go ahead and click next. And we'll keep the default that it's giving us. And we'll keep that default as well. We'll keep the default for that too, and we'll click install. Once it's done, we don't want to see the view release notes. We don't want that. We could just click finish. And then we could go to the bar here and start searching for CMD, which stands for command prompt. And we'll open that up. We can even make it full screen. And now we want to make sure that Git got installed properly. So we could say git space -- version, and we'll press enter. And you can see that we have Git installed 2.9.3, which is fine. The next thing we need to install is BrowserSync, but before we do that, we need to install Node.js in order to install BrowserSync. So let's go back to our browser, and we'll type in download Node.js, and it will take us straight to the download page. We'll click that. And we have a couple of options here. We can have the installer or the binary. We want the installer one, and since I'm running the 64-bit version of Windows, I want the installer 64-bit. So I'll click that. It'll get downloaded, and I can just click it right here to install. And the install screen finally pops up, and we could click next, that we accept the conditions, next, next, and again, next. And finally, just click install. And we want to go ahead and allow it to install it. And once it's done, we could click finish. And now we need to verify that Node.js actually was installed. So we could go back to our terminal or our command line, command prompt. And actually what we'll do is we'll go ahead and quit that first, and we'll start it up again. Always a good idea to do that between installs. So here's our command prompt. We'll start it up again, and this time, let's make it full screen. This time we'll say node space -- version. And sure enough, we have Node version 4.5.0. But what we're really after is the Node package manager. That's the thing that is going to allow us to install other packages like BrowserSync. So the way we check that that installed correctly is npm node package manager space -- version, enter, and you see that it is in fact installed properly. It's giving us the version number for it. So the next thing we need to do is go back to our browser and look for BrowserSync. So we could say BrowserSync and just Google it. And the first thing that will come up is the BrowserSync website. And as you can see, it's a very simple command that it's telling us that we need to install it with. It's just npm, which is Node Package Manager, install -g browser-sync. And -g is just there to say that I want to install it for all users on the computer. Okay, let's copy that. Let's go back to our command prompt. And let's go ahead and paste that command right here. We'll press enter, and the Node Package Manager should download things for us and install it for us automatically. Once it's done, it usually does come with some sort of warnings. And if you take a look here, there were a couple of warnings here. But as long as it finishes properly, you're okay. We'll clear the screen with the command cls. We'll try the browser sync command. We'll say browser -sync space -- version. We'll press enter. You can see that it's telling us the version number, which means it installed properly. So at this point, we've verified that we installed Atom, we've verified that we installed Node.js, and therefore we also were able to install Browser Sync.